Good evening to you all. On behalf of Bartley Trelligas Securities, we would like to warmly welcome you to our presentation on the initiation report of ACL Cables PLC. Iranga Fernando is our lead analyst covering ACL cables and also the construction sector, and he will take you through the dynamics of the construction sector and how it has shaped the cable industry. So before I pass it on to Iranga, there are a bit of reminders. The presentation is set for 40 minutes. You can send in any questions you have using the Q&A function on the top of your screen, and they will be taken up once the presentation has concluded. Over to you, Iranga.
Thank you, Sharon. So we initiate the ACL Cables PLC with the weighted average target price of 119 rupees and 50 cents with the buy recommendation. As you can see, today ACL Cables PLC market capitalization was 19.8 billion. For the past 52-week, if we consider about past 52-week market prices movement, the highest was the 88 rupees and 10 cents that was recorded on 10th July 2023, and the lowest value was 66 rupees that was recorded on 23rd January 2024. 1 year beta based on the last 52 weeks market prices and ASPI values is 0.99. Now let's move. Move into the major catalyst that has helped us to drive the valuation. So each one of these. So I will speak about each one of these catalysts once I move into the next slides. So ACL Cables PLC is the current market leading domestic cable market leader, along with its subsidiary Kalani Cables PLC. Both companies together represent 70% of the domestic market share. Compared to the other companies, ACL Cables PLC has a higher production capacity as well as a higher market reach. If we consider about ACL Cable PLC has 7 manufacturing plants, 4 manufacturing plants specialize in manufacturing cables, while the ACL Plastic PLC specializing in preparing the PVC compound which is required for the cables, and another company is specializing in processing the copper and aluminum which is required for the production process. And another one is specializing in manufacturing electric accessories, just like switches, fan, and other electric items. So, their main product segment is cables, which represent 95% of their revenue, and rest of the 5% is represented by the sales of PVC compound, other electric accessories. So if I say something about their like distribution network, currently they do have 1,031 dealers across the entire covering the entire island, and 201 distributors. So this is the main catalyst of the today's main catalyst of our valuation, which is the revival of the construction sector. That is also evident by the construction sector total activity index, which is presented by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So as per the central bank, as per the central bank PMI construction total activity index, after almost 2 years, in January 2024, PMI construction total activity index surpassed the threshold level of 50. And again, February, they have recorded the construction activity index recorded amount of 57.1. So this improvement in construction sector will positively affecting to the construction sector material manufacturers. So as you can see in this slide, the main determinants of the PMI total activity index, the stock of raw material purchases has also increased beyond the threshold level of 50. January, it has recorded a value of 55.7, and February, it has further improved. So ACL Cable PLC also can be identified as a beneficiary of current LKR appreciation, because if we consider about the company cost of sales structure, around 95% of their cost of sales is represented by the raw materials. Just 5 to 4% is represented by the rest of the cost, like labor, other overhead cost. And about this 95% of this about these materials, most of these materials are dependent on imports. So appreciation of the LKR affect into the ACL in a very positive manner. So with this, you can see this through this. You can see this table through this table. I have tried to give you some understanding how over the years over the years how the exchange rate has varied and how the copper prices have varied, and it how it affected to the cost of the ACL Cables PLC. Moving on. So housing, after a long period of after high interest rate in 2022, again interest rates are coming gradually decreasing. If you can remember, in 2020 and 2021, there was a slight decrease in housing loan interest rate and overall market interest rate. So actually that has helped to improve the construction sector of the country, especially the reduction in housing loan rates helped to increase the housing construction in Sri Lanka. I hope you can remember in 2021, latter part of the 2020, central bank has imposed interest rate cap on the housing loan rates that is provided to salaried employees by maximum rate up to 7%. So that positive impact was really can be seen in 2021, which the house construction of housing was really increased in a massive way. But yet again, the interest rate was increased in 2022. That has badly affected to the housing construction in Sri Lanka. As you can see in this slide, in 2022, housing construction was reduced. So improvement in this housing construction sector basically affecting to the ACL Cables PLC dealer market segment, which is currently represent around 35% of their top line. So cable usage is not only limited to the construction sector. Even in manufacturing sector, industrial sector, the cables are copper cables and aluminum cables are using to transmit the energy. So development and increasing industrial activities and manufacturing activities actually giving a positive outlook for the sales of these industrial type of cables, which ACL has a wide range of industrial type of cables. I hope with the revival of industrial activities, this this industrial cable product segment will perform in a better way. So the current export earnings of the ACL Cable PLC is represent around 30% of their top line. At the end of financial 23, out of the overall sales, 31% came through the exports. However, there was some kind of a depreciation in healthcare at that time. So when we having discussion with the ACL management, what they have indicated to us, despite the current appreciation they have seen in healthcare, that they believe that ACL can achieve like 30% contribution to the top line in coming period as well. So at the end of the 9-month period of the financial year 24, the export contribution to the ACL top line was 25%. And the if we consider about their main export markets, Maldives, India, USA, and UK can be identified as the main export markets. Just like Sri Lanka, in Maldives also, ACL Cables PLC represent the dominant share of the Maldives cable market segment. So with the revival of the tourism, we hope the construction related to the tourism sector, that is maybe a hotel, restaurant will also increase. So that also will help to increase the demand for the construction sector materials. So as you were there, ACL over the past years, ACL has involved with many hotel construction projects by providing cables, not only in Sri Lanka, even in Maldives. Some of the examples are Shangri-La Maldives, Kingsbury Hilton, Shangri-La Sri Lanka can be provided you as a major examples. Other than that, ACL Cables PLC also indicated that Tourism Development Authority of Maldives also main institutional client of ACL Cables PLC. When considering about the copper prices, as you aware, within the recent past, there was a massive hike in copper prices. That was mainly led by the due to the limited supply. During the past couple of months, there was several disruptions in mining activities, and even the China's smelting activities was cut down by CVN. That has affected to the supply, and moreover, there is an improvement in demand for copper as well with the revival of global economic activities. So with that, we have seen some kind of upward momentum in copper prices. However, we hope once the supply is coming back to the normal level, this increase in copper prices will somewhat decline and come up to a stable level. And as per our anticipation, we hope USD per metric ton of copper will range between 9,500 to 10,500 within the forecasted period. Now let's have a quick look at the ACL Cables PLC financials. So in upcoming period, so as you can see, we are not expecting a significant growth in top line. So we are just a marginal increase in upcoming period. Even though there is some kind of a revival in construction activities, so we believe it won't be a massive increase, just like what we have seen in financial year 2021. We'll speak about more about gross profit and EBIT margin in next slide. Prior to the financial year 22, gross profit margin remained below the 20%. 20%, but after financial year 22, it has reached to above the 20%, recording their highest ever gross profit margin, 36% in financial year 23. So what has actually led to this gross profit margin increases? So in financial year 22, there were several reasons actually affected to this reason. I can point out 3-4 reasons. One is in financial year 22 and 23, they have operated at their maximum capacity utilization levels. So that is another reason. And another thing, they also increase in demand, and they have done several price increases. That is the main reason for this price increases, and even some of the decision made by the government, just like imposing restriction on imports and purchasing materials only through the local manufacturing for the BOI projects. So that kind of reasons actually help to improve this gross profit margin. In financial year 23 and mid of the financial year 23, they also dropped in copper prices as well. So that also helped to improve this gross profit margin. But in going forward, we are not expecting this kind of high level of gross profit margin, but we are expecting a very stabilized gross profit margin above 25% with the gradual improvement of the utilization rates. So it will eliminate the underabsorption of fixed overhead cost. And even in EBIT margins, we are expecting just a moderate growth in administration and general expenses. However, with the dilution of earnings, EBIT margin also see a kind of a decline compared to financial year 23, which we expect it will be to remain around 16% to 17% range within the upcoming periods. So with the dilution of earnings, we also expect ROC and ROA and ROE to decline in upcoming period. That is mainly because of dilution in earnings compared to financial year 22 and 23. If we consider about current ratio and quick ratio of the company always remain much higher than the industry norms. Even in the at the end of the last quarter, current ratio was 5 times and quick ratio was 3.1 times. And ACL had a cash balance of 9.4 billion. So in going forward, we also expect current ratio of 4 times to 5 times our forecasted period. Interest-bearing borrowings of the company actually now in a declining trend. You can see that in financial year 20, their gearing ratio was 33%, but at the end of the third quarter of financial year 24, it has declined to 9%. Because that was mainly due to the last couple of 2 years, they had paid off a majority of their borrowings using their cash, because most of their borrowings obtained at linking to the AWPLR. So past years, the AWPLR was actually remain at very high levels. So considering the high interest rate environment, actually they paid out of their majority of borrowing. So if we consider about this current borrowing structure, the majority of borrowings are in floating rate, which is linked to AWPLR, and majority borrowings are obtained for the short-term working capital requirement. Around 81% of the borrowings actually represent the short-term borrowings. Since there are no major capex projects in upcoming period, we are not expecting a massive growth in borrowings. So when it comes to their dividend policy, in financial 19-20, actually they had a good payout ratios, which is around 20-25% levels. However, in financial 22 and 23, their payout ratio has declined 5% to 6%. That mainly because of their payout haven't increased according to their earnings. So even though their absolute dividend payment figure is actually remain constant, just ranging between 1 rupee to 1 rupee and 50 cents. So going forward, also we are not expecting a massive dividend. We are expecting around 1 rupee and 45 cents for the financial 25. And we hope they will pay a dividend for the financial year 24, which is around 1 rupee and 40 cents. If we consider about peer ratio analysis, if we compare with their main competitor, actually in GP margins we can't see a massive difference between those two companies. Actually, in GP margin, both the companies are going in line. Actually, we can't see a massive difference between ACL and CA. But when it comes to the EBIT margin, you can see some kind of a deviation. But in at the end of the last quarter, actually, there was some kind of improvement in Sierra EBIT margin that was mainly as a result of their distribution expenses has significantly declined. As a result of that, the EBIT margin has improved compared to the ACL Cables PLC. However, compared to the if we consider about the earning per share, for the 9-month period, ACL Cable PLC earning per share was 9 rupees, and it was around 9 rupees and 44 cents. But Sierra Cables for the 9-month period, earning per share was 1 rupee and 25 cents. Though there is some kind of an improvement in margin within the recent quarters. Even in gearing ratios, you can see within the construction sector counters, ACL Cables has some kind of moderate and very low level of gearing. That is, however, Central Industries and Lanka Aluminium gearing ratio also somewhat low. Now let's have a deeper, some detailed look at our valuation. We have used the weighted average method, as I explained at the initial of the presentation. We have used 3 valuation techniques. Our main valuation technique was the DCF valuation and the PE-based target price, and the enterprise value to EBITDA value multiples we have used for the valuation. So we have gave a high weightage on the DCF valuation target since that is our co-valuation technique. So overall, we have got the weighted average target price of 119 rupees and 41 cents. So we have rounded up to the nearest rupee, that is 119 rupees and 50 cents. And we are expecting a dividend per share of 1 rupee and 40 cents for the financial year 25. And the target price based on total rupees, the total return is 100 rupees and 121 rupees. So the total return is 46% 0.31%. So if I talk a bit more about their risk associated with investing in ACL, even as I explained earlier in this presentation about the appreciation of the rupee, how it benefit to the ACL Cables PLC. So even in depreciation, there is actually a very adverse effect on the ACL Cables PLC. So as I shown to you, there is around 95% of their raw material is depend on imports. So whenever the depreciation of the rupee is happening, actually it is adversely affected on their margin and cost structure. So and there's just like right now, the copper prices are in increasing trend. So such thing is could be happen even in the future. Unexpected price movement in the raw material prices also has a bad impact on the ACL cables. And interest rate, GDP growth rate, inflation has a direct link to the construction sector, not only to the ACL, but overall there is an adverse effect on construction sector material manufacturers. So whenever the interest rates are going up and GDP growth rates are falling, whenever the construction sector activities are not actually happening in the country, just like what we had in past previous months. So whenever such kind of a situation are happening, actually it's badly affected to the companies in the this capital goods sector counters. And even the government decisions and agreements, even the political situation that prevail in the country also can be affected to the local players. For an example, let's imagine a situation where if government allow the like construction sector materials to be tax exempted, so it may be really badly affected to the local capital goods sector manufacturers. So this is a snapshot about the top 20 shareholders at the end of the last quarter. So with that, that brings up to the end of this presentation. So now questions and answer session can begin. So if you do have any questions, you can direct it through the questions and answer option.
Yes, in the meantime, we would also like to remind you to register with the BRS research portal, which is research.barclaytradinggear.com, where you will be able to access our exclusive content, our research reports, the periodicals, the quarterly earnings snippets, the earnings reviews, initiation reports, economic reports, and a wealth of other information as well. So that's just a reminder from our end. And yes, we can move on to the Q&A session with that. We have received one question. I think we can even take it in two parts maybe. So with the appreciation of the exchange rate, won't there be significant changes to the competitiveness of a locally manufactured product against imports? I think that we can take as one part. And also, how would it affect the export competitiveness?
So if I take the first part of the questions, yes, appreciation of LKR is actually benefiting to the local manufacturers, especially a company like ACL, which heavily depend, which around 95% of the cost structure is cost structure is represented by the raw materials. So like when appreciation anyway if we consider about local dealer market in cable dealer market anyway it's dominated by the local manufacturers that is together with Calny Cables ACL represent more than 70% and around 20% is represented by Sierra. Actually the importers anyway if we consider about the overall cable market actually the importers are represent only just like importers and other players only represent around 10%. So anyway the appreciation will actually benefiting them in terms of margins. So in even for if we consider about the exports so appreciation of the rupee will affecting to the export revenue. That is usual. Even there, as per my knowledge, even when we had the discussion with the ACL Cables PLC, they are not even though they are knowing that currently this currency rate is appreciating, they are in the belief that they can expand their market and they can keep the 30% of their contribution to the top line, and they are believe that they can increase their export earnings going forward through expanding their product segment and expanding their markets.
Yes, we have got in another question. Can we get a sense of the competitors' pricing?
Actually, if we consider about the competitors' pricing, first of all, I have to say, even I have collected this information through the like by analyzing their general prices. If we consider about their main main competitors, there is a kind of like if you consider about the ordinary cables that generally we are using for domestic consumption, there is a like a price variation like between 300 to 400 rupees. Even some cables there is kind of 200 rupees price deviation. Actually, ACL Cables PLC is the market price leader in domestic cable market. Actually, they are the ones who deciding the like overall pricing in the market.
Yes. And Iranga, does any of their businesses enjoy any income tax concessions?
At the moment, no, there is no such.
Yeah. So since there are a couple of questions maybe on the same lines, could you elaborate a bit on their future projects and also especially in relation to renewable energy?
So I will touch a bit about this renewable energy. So government has a huge plan to like sourcing the about 70% of electricity through the this renewable energy sources. When it comes to the like generally copper cables are using for the as a electric transmission equipment in wind power and solar power. So ACL cables and Calny cables both are producing this there is a separate type of cables which required for these solar cables. So they are producing that type of cables as well. Through that, I think they will benefit through the this renewable energy projects. However, they haven't indicated like any of the projects that they are currently involved in, but they have told to us that if the government or any other institution needed their supplies, they are always ready to supply those cables. What they have told us that they have enough production capacity to provide those cables. So that about the renewable energy segment. So what is the other part of the question?
Yes, I just mainly on what their key future projects would be.
Actually, they haven't indicated any projects that they are currently involved in, but they believe that they will get some like major projects. Especially, they have like positive anticipation on the Port City project. However, so that is too early to indicate anything, but actually they haven't clearly indicated any other projects that they are currently involved in.
Yes. Also, since there are about two questions on these lines, could you explain maybe briefly on the importance of import duty protection for the domestic cable industry, and also what sort of an impact does non-tariff barriers have on the group profits of ACL?
So actually, even now, when importing cables, actually now they have some taxes imposed by the government. If we are whether it's importing cables or finished cables, so whether it's aluminum and cable rods which are using for the manufacturing of cables, there are some taxes actually imposed on those. One is VAT, and even some other import taxes, just like social security contribution levy and like port and aviation authority levy, and those kind of several levies also imposed on these cables. So if the government like release some of the if the government take off some of these taxes imposed on the finished cables, which directly import from the foreign countries, that may actually have adverse effect on the local cable manufacturers. But if they decide to remove the social contribution levy, if we try to reduce VAT and the like other import charges from the like raw materials of the construction sector, raw materials just like copper rods and aluminum rods. So that will maybe positive, maybe affected to the AC cables in a positive manner.
Yes, so there is a question in relation to the shareholding. Do you have access to the top 100 shareholders and how the holdings are distributed? No, unfortunately, no, we do not have the top 100 shareholder list, and I think that will have to be obtained through the company secretaries. Okay, on the manufacturing process, is the process fully vertically integrated within ACL cables? And are they reliant on any local supplier for any key component?
No, now they are actually fully vertically integrated production mechanism is followed by the ACL Cables PLC. Actually, they are not rely on the any local players. So they are importing the copper, and if there are any orders coming for the aluminum cables, they import aluminum and do the production process. So Other than that, actually, they are not rely on any other suppliers within the group. As I explained to you, there are 7 manufacturing facility. So out of that, 4 manufacturing specialize in manufacturing cables. So through within that production process, within that 4 companies, their production process is going on. Other than that, they are not actually rely on any other local suppliers.
Yes. Do we have any rating on the governance and transparency of ACL, Iraka?
Actually, they have when it comes to the corporate governance, even we have done kind of a small analysis regarding this corporate governance and ESG practices of the ACL Cables PLC. So you can have a detailed look through our reports. But they have won several awards regarding this corporate governance and best practices.
Okay, maybe a few questions I have missed. Is Adani Wind Power planning to use products from ACL Cables for their projects?
Actually, such kind of information we do not have at the moment. But if somebody like I can indicate this I can indicate this kind of thing. But if somebody wants to like buy cables for such kind of a project through local supply, actually they have to depend on the ACL Cables PLC, because none of the other players in the market cannot provide provide the supply for this such kind of a demand. However, if the Adani Group is uh, use the cables manufacturers manufactured by India through imports, that benefit will not go to ACL Cables PLC. But I believe when the I believe, but Adani Group will use the may depend on the local supplies, because if we try to import those cables, there are some duties and charges apply on the imports that will increase the cost structure of the project. However, if sometimes even government may sometimes give kind of relief for that tax concession or some kind of a thing. So if such thing not happen, actually they have depend on the local cable supplies, just like ACL. So even in such a scenario, actually ACL Cables PLC will benefit through this Adani project and all these renewable energy project.
Yes. Also, the next question is on the pricing. Can you shed some light on how you would expect the average sales prices to behave going forward? And will ACL consider fully transferring the cost increase to the customers?
So within the current scenario, actually, if you consider about at the from end of the financial year 23 to second quarter of the financial year 24, there was a reduction of around 20% of their average selling prices. And for the third quarter, actually, there was no any kind of a variation in prices. Actually, they keep their prices remain flat. Even in recent scenarios, like price, they have keep their prices remain flat. So that is one of the reasons that their GP margin actually declined within the recent period. Uh, uh, Recent period. So actually, they had declined around 20% of their average selling prices within the financial year 23 to financial year 24 plus 9 months. So even in going forward, we are not expecting massive price average selling prices increases, because now the appreciation of the LKR also benefit kind of a benefit for them. So even though the copper prices is increasing, so but I'm not expecting that they will increase prices suddenly. But if you consider about the like financial year 22-23, where copper prices like financial 22, where copper prices are really in a very high level, they are surpassing the 10,000 levels per metric ton of copper. Actually, they have significantly passed the cost increases to the customers. Not only ACL, many of the players has done that. And if further, if you just bit of analyze their past financial year performance, just like financial year 17-18, even those years, whenever the LME market prices has increased, they have increased their average selling price. That has led them to increase their top line. However, in such scenarios, sometimes their margins could be affected. However, they have the ability to pass the cost to the customers and protect their margins.
Yes, and touching on their capacity utilization, how has their capacity usage been, and what is your expectation going forward?
So, if you consider about their current capacity utilization rate is ranging between 50 to 55%, very low, very low level. So, in going forward, we are expecting slight improvement. We are not expecting they will operating at a like full potential level, like 80%, 90% what they had in financial year 22, 21, those years. So they will increase their capacity in slightly, because they are now telling that they have seen some kind of a gradual consecutive kind of slight improvement in orders. So along with that, we also expect to their capacity utilization rate to like range between like 60 to 65% levels going forward.
What sort of client base do they mainly target? What sort of different client categories are they catering to, Iranga?
So if we consider about the entire local cable market, the largest market share is actually the dealer market, and the institutional market is coming afterward there. And if we consider about the ACL Cable PLC customer segment, there are 35% of the top line contribution is coming through the dealer market, and rest another 35% is coming through the institutional market, and the rest of the 30% is coming through the export. So when I say institutional, even the Ceylon Electricity Board, one of their main customer, also included in this 35% of the institutional customer segment. So even in going forward, they are expecting this kind of a composition, that is dealer and institutional market share 35% each, and export 30%.
Yes, then there is another question. Your presentation seemed to be more focused on the use of copper. What is the composition of cables produced using copper versus aluminium?
Yeah. If, mainly when analyzing the ACL Cables PLC, that what their management always say to us is consider their business as a like kind of a copper related cables manufacturing company, rather than like kind of see a cable manufacturing company just like 50% copper or 50% aluminum, because actually they are producing aluminum cables only on the demand coming from the institutional clients. Otherwise, they are not actually producing the aluminum cables. They are manufacturing only the copper cables, like institutional investors, institutional clients, just like government or any other private institutional client. Sometimes they request the aluminum cables for their special kind of special kind of construction. So in instances, they are providing, they are manufacturing aluminum cables. Otherwise, actually, they are involved only in manufacturing copper cables. Even in some quarters, actually, they are not producing aluminum cables if they are not getting any orders.
Okay, I think we can accommodate one question with the remaining time. In terms of technology, how does ACL rank with global peers?
ACL Cables PLC currently following ISO standard, and they have awarded with many. They have awarded many awards to internationally as well as locally regarding this manufacturing cables. That's why even for some of the big projects conducted in India, Maldives has requested cables from the ACL Cables PLC because of that quality. In terms of quality, actually, we can rank the ACL Cables PLC in very good condition, even in locally as well as both international level. Actually, that is one of the main reason that their exports revenue segment has increased so much throughout the years.
With this, I think allocated time has passed and we can conclude our meeting. We thank all of you who have joined with us today, and also stay tuned with us for further updates, further reviews, and such webinars. Register with our online portal, research.barclaytreliga.com, to access our reports, and contact your investment advisor for any further guidance on that. So thank you very much for joining with us. Have a good evening.